It is truly a privilege to stand before you this afternoon. I want to talk to you about something a little different. Can we all just put our hands together for a second, if we will? Let's put our hands together. Notice what finger you have on top. All right, let's reverse it for a second. Just reverse it. Put the other finger on top. What's wrong? Feels uncomfortable. That's how change is sometimes. Nothing really wrong with it. It just feels uncomfortable. We have a resource fair. This is our second annual resource fair. And there'll be some people that will be uncomfortable. That's how change is. But my job tonight is to challenge each of you sitting here to make your mark. Is this? A child's life is like a piece of paper. Everyone you come in contact with leaves a mark. So I challenge you tonight to make your mark count. In her introduction, she told you I was from Buena Vista, Georgia, small town, southwest Georgia. That is true. I first come to Hobart in 1978. I've been here many of years. Some of you I know, and some of you I probably don't know. But there's been so many people that made an impact on me as a young person coming here. And I often talk about the Pruitt family. As a young man coming from down south, I ran into the Pruitt family. And the Pruitt family had an impact on me to make me want to live my life right here in Hobart, Oklahoma. Every one of you have that opportunity to make your bar count. When you meet a person every day, there's a person put in front of you to make a difference. No person should leave you the same as they came unto you. You should be able to make a difference in that child's life, whether good, bad, or indifferent. Isaiah Thomas, great basketball player. His quote is, if all I'm remembered for is being a great basketball player, then I've done a bad job with the rest of my life. What are you doing with the rest of your life? How many of you in here feel that you have been successful? Truly successful. We have some successful people. But there's no test without a testimony. There's no success without a story. Tell your story. Many of us fail to tell our story. My motto is simple. Everything after me should be better. Tell your story. I can't tell your story, but tell your story. Many of our lives are lived and our stories are never told. Someone else will have to tell the story for you. Tell your story. When I come here in the late 70s and I seen Mr. Pruitt reaching out to a young man, moving that young man in with him, they told their story. Tell your story. Only you can tell your story. Change is sometimes difficult, but sometimes in order to achieve the goal we are trying to achieve, we have to change. There's a world out there looking at us to make a difference. Are we making that difference? If I passed a sheet of paper around right now, everybody would probably, no doubt, touch that paper. That's some child's life that you can be touching. I challenge you tonight to make a difference. Every child you run into from this point forward make a difference. No doubt it's uncomfortable sometimes. Me standing up here tonight, thanks to one of my children, is somewhat uncomfortable. But I am proud of all 9 of my children. That's just part of them. I will have you to know. Every child in the Hobart school system belongs to me. I truly believe that all children are sacred, and no child is sacred. Make a difference. Make your mark count. Tell your story. Belief is all you need. There was a young man traveling down this highway. He was somewhat lost and trying to read a map and drive, something we probably do every day. He found himself off in a ditch. And while he was in this ditch, he wasn't injured, so he was stuck in mud. He decided to get out and walk to the nearest farm. When he got to the nearest farm, old farmer sit there, he looked at him. He said, "What's wrong?" He said, "Well, I'm stuck down the road." He had an old mule out there in the field. He said, "Old Warwick can do it." You can do it. Old Warwick can do it. The young man looked at the old mule. He looked back at the farmer. Farmer said, "Yep, old Warwick can do it." So he said, "Well, what do I have to lose? I'm stuck in a ditch. I need to get out of the ditch." So him, the 2 men and the old mule begin to go back to the vehicle stuck in the ditch. And when they get back to the vehicle, the old man hooks the mule up, hook old Warwick up to the vehicle. He said, "Pull Ted, pull Jack, pull John, pull Warwick. With little or no ease, Warwick pulled the vehicle from the ditch." The young man began to thank the farmer. And he looked at the farmer and said, "Why did you call all those other names before you called Warwick?" Farmer just grinned. He said, "Old Warwick is about blind. As long as he's part of a team, he don't mind pulling." You're part of a great team here. You're part of a great team. The moral of the story is this: some people feel the rain, others just get wet. Make your mark count. Make your mark count. Don't be afraid to get off the porch. Make your mark count. In closing, I'll leave you with this. Sometimes, we like to stay on the porch. Our life is just like a ship. And the ship is going across a sea to reach its destination, which is on the other side of the sea. But on this ship is some precious cargo. One day, this ship will eventually wreck. But I have to get my cargo to the dock. The winds may get up. The storms may be brewed, but I must reach the destination with my cargo. We have some precious cargo on board. We have every time a child come in contact with you, that is precious cargo. Our life is a ship. Sometimes it's glad to be on the sea. Sometimes trials come in our life and we want to get off the ship, but we must stay on the ship until we reach that destination. So I say to you, make your mark count. There's many Pruitts here in this town. There's some Davis in this town. There's some Phillips in this town. There are many people in this town that are making their mark count. And as a young boy, I was inspired by those very people here in this town. Make your mark count. I'm so thankful I don't have to be what folks told me I had to be. As a young man growing up in the South, many things I seen, but when I got to Hobart, Oklahoma, never heard of Hobart, but when I got here, my life had never been the same. I was inspired by coming to Hobart. And now I call Hobart my home, and I call it that with pride. So I say to every one of you in here, if you do nothing else, make your mark count. Last thing I'll tell you is this. Many will say you're a secret to success. There's no secret. There's no secret. If I keep things in the right priority, I can make it. There's no secret. Many will tell you there's a secret. There's many books out there that will tell you this is the secret. There's no secret. Keep things in order. Faith, family, community, keep everything in order. There's no secret. Seek it first, and everything else will be added unto you. Thank you. May God bless you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.